Hello.
Any positive injury news in terms of your bulletin?
Good afternoon. Some good news or fresh news, and some others not so good. Unfortunate for us. Starting from the back, Kenny was already involved in the last game, not 100%, but was already on the bench. He has had a good week so far, and is going to be in contention to the game. Joaquin Anders, as was expected, and I mentioned it after the match, with the muscle injury, not so serious, but muscle injury is going to be out. He's not going to be available for Newcastle match. Anthony Robbins neither as well. And after Sasa Lukic in contention, and all the others still the same. Chukwueze is still out, Muniz still out, all the others nothing really new. Just a doubtful about Harry Wilson, and he got a knock in the national team, a small issue in the national team. He made it to play against Arsenal. Let's see if he's going to be ready or not. Yesterday was not in conditions. Today didn't train as well. Let's see tomorrow he's going to react. Nothing really serious, but let's see how he's going to feel tomorrow, and after we are going to take a decision about him.
And in terms of Muniz and Chukwueze, do you have a time scale on them?
No, difficult. I believe that probably Rodrigo is going to be closer than Chukwueze right now.
Just looking back on Arsenal and the key takings, obviously a lot of positives in terms of your block and how you held them for 60 minutes, but no shots on target. I know it doesn't tell the whole picture, but do you have any concerns over that lack of creativity in the final third at the moment?
No, for you to win games, you have to do many things right, and one of the things is to be ruthless, to be effective, to be aggressive in your front line, and of course to take the right decisions. Is a stat and is a fact. You cannot say nothing. I think the game is much more than that. Just to look for numbers or the stats. Of course, we had the first 30 minutes they were in a very good level. Definitely very good level, and to be honest, the first 2-3 chances or probably moments to create chances was from ourselves and not for Arsenal. But if you look for the game from both sides, not many clear chances as well. Arsenal didn't have, but I agree with you. Even the last 20 minutes when you push a little bit more forward and we are more on the front foot after their score. We should have created more, even if we are playing against a very solid side, and the facts and the numbers they showed again. They just conceded 3 goals. It's not a coincidence. But yes, it's not something new from ourselves. It's not something usual from ourselves to don't have shots on the target. I think probably it's the first time in, I don't know, probably in all my seasons here. It's not, but the reality at the first moments of the game, we had the chances. Okay, for different reasons, the ball didn't go in the direction that we wanted. Just in one way, to keep working very hard. We had Raul just coming back from a long injury and all that stuff. Some problems with some players out wide. I think is a situation that with all of us ready and us in our best, and with all the players available, we are going to be strong 100% sure. It's just one way to keep working hard, to make the players to understand the things and to get better and better.
Some Fulham fans calling for Iwobi to play more centrally. Do you see any value in that?
Okay, the fans they have their right to say what they want. I don't know how many Fulham fans or who are they, but everything what they say we have to respect. I'm the coach and I have to decide. But they want Iwobi in the middle to take Josh King or Emil out, or they want to take Sander for Alex Iwobi. I don't know. I don't know where it comes from, and of course I'm here not to answer for that question.
And Lukic is in contention, do you say?
Yes, he's going to be in contention.
That's a quicker recovery than we expected.
Yes, as we told you, of course, we never mentioned and we didn't say nothing about the time scale. Okay, the information that you got come from their national team or the people there around, and of course, when they said something, we knew that this was exaggerated the time that they gave, but up to us to keep working with him. And the response from him is being very good. Top professional, top guy, takes care of himself in a top way. And he trained yesterday, trained today again. Let's see how he's going to feel tomorrow. If he's going to feel well, he's going to be in contention to the game.
That's a big boost, isn't it? If he can, for a tough trip.
Yes, it is very important, and you know how the physicality in the other side. We know how they are strong almost in all the positions, how they are aggressive, and in a good way. That battle in the middle is going to be crucial, like it was last season in both games, for us to be able to win the game. Tonali with Bruno and with Joelton or Ramsey or whatever, they are solid, they are compact, they are aggressive, they are physical as well, and of course we have to be at least to reach the same level of intensity and all that stuff for us to be able to play in the way we want to play, and of course to control them, to be able to create what we need to create, but at the same time to be able to do it as well. If it's going to be with Sander and Lukic or Andersen TC or George and Emil, or like you said before with Alex, we have to find a way. That is the thing. But you have to be to understand what type of competition we are playing against, type of sides that we are playing. Because if it's to put all the forward players at the same time in the 11, if you put wingers in the middle and all that stuff, look for all the other teams that what they do in Premier League. We play against Arsenal. Arsenal play with Rice and Zubimendi. And that is the truth. We are going to play a side that in the middle of the park they have their, in my opinion, their strength and what supports all their teams. And I can mention probably more 15 teams that they play in a certain way. Premier League is so demand. It's not just to put 4 players there inside, and it's going to be a decision making in the game.
And you're staring at 4 defeats in a row. How important is it that you stop that momentum? And what do you need from your players this week?
You are mentioning you are already speaking about a defeat for us?
No, I'm just saying how important is it that...
No, but you mentioned 4 defeats. You mentioned 4 defeats, not myself.
Well, that's what it would be.
But could be not, will be not.
Yeah.
You mentioned 4.
How important is it that it is?
I can speak to you and I answer to you if you said that we lost 3 games. But you are in advance saying that 4 defeats in a row, because can be a defeat, can be a draw, can be a win. Okay, but this is your opinion, but I'm going to answer to you. It's a difficult game. We lost 3. It is true. Last game very difficult. The game against Bournemouth, clear, not at our level. And the Villa game, apart from ourselves, other things made a massive impact in the game before we conceded goals or whatever. 30-40 minutes of the game, we should have winning 2-0 instead of to be during the game in that first half. That is the reality of the game. Of course, right now after 1 month and a half, we are looking just for the results. But I'm not normal. I don't forget what's happened in the games. I look for my team, what we have to improve as well. But I looked for the other things that happen in the game as well, and made a massive impact in some games and some results. And of course, if the things went in a different way, because we deserve it, we are talking about a completely different position at the table and all that stuff. It's what it is. We cannot change. About the result, 3 possible results there, not just a defeat for us. 3 possible results there, and you believe that is going to be different.
Finally, on Sunday you were linked with Nottingham Forest. They reportedly had an interest in you. Was there any mutual feeling from your side of that?
No, I'm not making any comments on it at all. I'm here completely focused in the job that we have to do in the game against Newcastle. I answered direct after the game against Arsenal. Was everything in my mind was the Arsenal game, and of course now it's going to be the Newcastle game.
But you appreciate without your...
No, I will not make any comments on it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Marco,
Hi.
Obviously, last few matches you've had a lot of injuries to deal with and so on. But on a more general football side, what have you seen from your team that's pleased you, and what would you like to see them do more? Where can they improve?
Last game?
Well, the last few games.
Few games. No, definitely. There have been different games. Of course, if you look for the last 3, they were the games where you were playing in a different circumstances in terms of the availability of the team. Everything comes almost all together. Was the game against Villa, where you lost, for example, Rodrigo the game before, 10 minutes of the game, leading the score, we lost Raul. Was a different circumstance for us to play without a number 9. Even so, the team was winning, and as I mentioned, we had that possible 2 penalties that they made a massive impact, or could make a massive impact in the game. And the game against Bournemouth was slightly different, without a reference, Raul out and Rodrigo out as well. We changed some things, we tried to adjust other things, and was not a good game at all. I think from both sides, not good game. I think the game was very balanced, not many shots, playing in a very difficult circumstance as well, very windy, all that stuff, but for both sides. And the reality that we were solid enough, and I think 75 minutes already we're leading the score. We have to blame ourselves, don't win that game the way the game was going, because leading the score, almost controlling everything from Bournemouth, they were not creating, not chances at all, and is a moment that you have to be mature to control in a completely different way a game like that one. And Arsenal is different one, of course, at Cottage, when we have been very, very strong so far, before that game in the season. You make the life very difficult for them. We wanted to achieve, because our last few games against them, they have been, in terms of results, they have been very good for us. We are not able to get the result we wanted. As you mentioned, we took positives even with a lot of absences, but we are here to take results and not just positives. We want results because we need a good performance, but we need results as well to boost the confidence from the team, even in a difficult moment in terms of the availability of the season. We are not going to hide ourselves just behind that to make excuses or whatever. Is our reality, is what we have, and we have to go in the best direction we can, even with 5-6 players and whatever out of the game. For example, last game against Arsenal, in one moment of the game we were playing with a completely back four different last season. No one mentioned that. But when Roa came out, the back line that was starting that game was completely different than the back line that started most of the games last season, for example. And you can imagine one team, doesn't matter who is going to be the team, but imagine one team, title contenders, whatever, different positions. If you take the four that normally start and you put the other four, imagine what can happen. And you are in this moment now that everything come in this direction. First was without two strikers. Last game without the four normal starting 11 players in the back line, wingers out, all that stuff. Imagine what can happen. But of course, I'm not going to hide. I'm here to find solutions, not to hide behind the situations. And you are going to start for sure the game with 11, and we have to do our best.
You talk about your defence there. You're coming up against a striker this season, or this weekend in Woltemade, who has really hit the ground running. A lot of players have come into the Premier League this season, and people have said, they need time. He seems to have adapted straight away. What particular threats does he pose, and how do you deal with a striker like him?
Very good striker. Very good striker. Of course, they had last 2-3 seasons an unbelievable striker too. It's not something new for them. That is a good sign for them as a football club when they lose like they lost a great striker, because that Liverpool spent the amount of money on him, but that means recruitment and to do it well, the way they were able to go for a slightly different style, but to spend the money they spent on him and the impact that he has straight. And I think it's a very good one. It's slightly different, probably not so aggressive in the space like it was Isaac, much more a player that is very good linking play, a player that lay off very well, bounce for the midfielders in front of him, and of course inside the box he can score. He showed in the past, he showed already that inside the box he can score in many different ways. The game against Brighton is a good example, the way he was able to finish in that way and score in that way. But he's a very good one. The way sometimes he can be the extra midfielder, the way he come to link their game and to support for them to beat the first pressure, for example. And of course inside the box with his profile is a very good one.
And in terms of how you defend against him, there was a lot of praise for Cuenca the other day, coming in, slotting in and doing very well. First of all, how pleased were you with how well he played, and did perhaps do enough to maybe keep his place in it?
It's going to be the decision. Of course, as you... I really believe on him. I mentioned last season when we signed him, probably for most of you was a little bit surprised the way we found him and all that stuff, the price we paid for him. But I told you in that moment that most of you didn't know him, but you are going to recognize the quality that he has. I didn't have doubts in the moment that we signed him. Okay, Calvin had an amazing season last season. The Calvin season was at the top level. He's a very, very good central defender, very quick, strong, gives us in some things, in some moments, different things than the others, because he's the most agile one, he's the quickest one, and a very strong individual duels too. But I knew that Cuenca is more than capable to do well the job, and that role is for him. Calvin was 10 days out with the national team. Normal when that players that they play in that in the Nigeria, they come always is very difficult for them. They just arrive 48 hours before the game. Is always difficult. We had the experience against Leeds, for example, when they went for the national team international duties and they come back. And very good 2 weeks from Cuenca, and decided to start with him. About the Newcastle game, is going to be another game. We have 3 central defenders, and Andersen is going to be out, and we have to decide what is going to be the best partnership to start.
In terms of Newcastle, fantastic season last season. We qualified for Europe, won a trophy. Perhaps haven't had to match those levels yet so far this season. Would you put that down to the fact they're playing in Europe, or is it difficult to just maintain those levels that they set last season?
Many things they can be connected. Pre-season, the way they start, players, some circumstances in terms of players coming in or going out. I think they had that story about the striker just come late and all that stuff. I think is many things can have an impact. I don't know. It's more for Eddie to speak about it. I don't know what we can, and you have to recognize is their quality, and it's going to be a great challenge for us. I think. To play against Newcastle at home, you have the challenge because they are going to test you, their individual quality, their collective quality, well managed as well. To play against them away from home, you have that extra one, that is St. James Park. Lovely, beautiful place to play football, and very tough too. It's one of the most exciting places to be there and to face, for you to be on the touchline, for you to be on the pitch. Probably for the people that is going to be in the stand. I didn't experience that yet, but yes, is a great challenge. Is a place that is going to test you in every moment of the game, because they have that 12 extra player always there, 100% sure, because the fans, they play with them. Definitely they are going, any tackle, any corner, any throw in, any block that they do it, they are going to be on them, and they give them that extra. Is a very good example about what a fan base and what a stadium can be important one. I think we adapted very well last season. We have been changing that. Last season we were able to be back in score at half time. You were able to change it and we made a double with them. We got a double with them last season, and let's hope we can repeat again. Because we are going to be really tested ourselves on high level, in my opinion.
And you mentioned that you did the double over them last season. In previous years, results against Newcastle really hadn't been good at all. But you've mentioned before that last season you started to improve those results against teams where you hadn't done so well. What do you put that down to? Is that down just increasing experience, increasing knowledge?
Increasing many things. Our confidence, our quality, our maturity. Because if I go... it's going to be my fifth season in the club. If I go through the recent record, every time I'm going to play against any team, sometimes it's shocking the record from Fulham. I don't look for that. I know because I have to know all the details about everything. The reality that the last 3 seasons we have been changing really in our way. Many places to go to play at home. Many results against. Many different sides, and St. James Park is a good example last season, or Newcastle side is a good example last season. They were always difficult games for us. I remember the first season, we had a penalty with Mitrovic last 10 minutes of the game. It was a double touch on the ball and the penalty was disallowed. They scored last minute. The game after, we had Raul Jimenez with the red card, 10-15 minutes of the game, very difficult place to play with 11, Image with 10. Last season we were able to change completely the story, even at home against them. Means that we did something very good, and let's hope we can repeat again in the game, because it's going to be a tough one. But I like these moments when we are challenged, and the games they are going to test ourselves. If you are not 100% of our strengths, because you have a lot of absences, what it is could be a good opportunity for the other players to come and to show their quality.
Great, thanks.
On the broadcast, we move to writers. Great, thank you. We can switch cameras off.